Hi, my name is Jai, always staying fly.
And I'm Tatiana, and I'm so ready to get this started.
Absolutely.
Pretty Girls Don't Speak, episode 1.
Hey.
Jai, I just want to say that this is such a dream come true to start a podcast with somebody who just shares the same energy and really believes in that we have a message to convey to the world.
And I could say the same, Tatiana. Like, I really appreciate you. I always find you're so motivational to me. I really, really, truly, you inspire me from my heart.
Thank you.
And you always keep it moving.
Yeah, always pushing, always going forward.
Force to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
So I just wanted to give a little beginner's, announcement. The reason why me and Jai are going into this and starting a podcast is because personally, I believe that everybody needs to know that you can have whatever you want in life as long as you're energetically aligned for what you're asking for. And I believe that women deserve a voice and power that we aren't always offered, in this world. And I've met somebody who is so powerful and just made the biggest impact on my life in the smallest amount of time, really.
Oh, stop
So
it.
talented, this person, so talented. And it's just really exciting to go on this new endeavor.
Yeah, I agree. And there's so much going on in the world, and our voices being stifled from so many things, from trauma, lack of self-awareness. And, I'm just grateful that I'm here with this powerful force that we can actually bring this message to you guys and encourage and inspire you through our experiences along the way.
And that's really what it's all about, is like the most powerful thing you can do is control yourself, and how you view things, how you react to things. And, unless you're actually putting in the work and taking accountability and pushing forward and being consistent and not caring about fear, you probably won't get anywhere. But we're here to show you how by doing all those things, I've accomplished some of my biggest goals ever.
Yeah. And so have I. So have I. I mean, I've come from a rough space, and I think Tatiana can actually relate to that as well. It's not easy. And coming from tough spaces, we actually learn how to keep our balance and maintain through this systematic, just trauma filled, and just honestly, I'm going to say it, just quite down hateful world.
Yeah.
A world that's full of fear based mentality and scare tactics. So I learned throughout my journey to stay balanced by letting love guide me and not fear. And that's what we want to get in today about, is just asking and receiving from the universe, from God, from source, whatever you deem fit. And it's going to be a beautiful ride. Yeah.
So I love this topic so much because this is what I base my whole life around, and I feel like people get so weird about religion and spirituality, and in a way, spirituality is just the belief that there is something greater, than us that we can, like be energetically balanced with, and that can take us to where we need to go, to where we're meant to go. And I feel like, praying, we were just talking about this earlier, praying and asking for what you want and manifesting, these are all like separate forms of each other, would you say?
I would definitely say so, yes. And I feel that prayer has a lot to do with intention and having its manifestation with faith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Having faith in a higher power that actually helps you manifest your truest heart's desire, but also leading and guiding you along the way.
Yeah.
That's that initial force where you just surrender. Prayer is a form of surrender. And I think it's a beautiful sacred moment to be in prayer. And then with manifestation, it's like, okay,
I'm manifesting this.
Yeah,
I want this. That's for me.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, and then there's different types of prayer too.
It could go on and on and on. But I think at the end of the day, when you sit down and, people say, write down your affirmations, it's all the same thing. Like, if you find yourself stagnant in your life, like nothing's going for you, and you just start wanting more, just sit down with a pen and paper, maybe some sage lit in the corner, and just be like, I want this, or I am powerful,
Yes.
I am strong. If you want something, like, let's say you want to like be more stylish, right? I am stylish,
Yes. Because I am is, of course, the most potent words in the entire universe is I am. And whatever goes after I am is what you are. So it's subconscious programming also. So say if I'm ugly, oh man, I hate myself, I'm fat. Well, I always say to everybody, well, I believe you. I believe you
Yeah.
because that's what you are. You're programming your mind to believe those things. And, I feel so inspired to just talk about the I ams in being positive
Yeah.
because we don't want to self sabotage ourselves. That's what I always say. We're self sabotaging ourselves when we talk about the negative things about ourselves. And there is ways to change it. And affirmations is a powerful, powerful method that honestly helped me along in my journey.
I
Seriously.
There's so many people that I know personally that'll talk badly about themselves just the way you said. And they're like, I'll tell them, sit down with a piece of paper and stop, rewire
Yeah.
your way of thinking.
Hmm.
Like there's somebody that I know specifically that always complains about their body image. Oh, I
Hmm.
hate the way that I look. I hate the way that I don't feel comfortable in what I wear, and you want to feel bad for that person. But at the same time, like, I'll tell them, like, just change your way of speaking to yourself
Hmm.
and give that 3 months, give that 1 month
Yeah.
and see how that goes for you. Start saying, instead of saying, oh, I hate working out, I can't do that, I can't lift that, I'm not strong, say, I love working out. Even
Yeah.
if you never worked out a day in your life, say, I love working out, I love going to the gym, I
Yeah.
love running a mile a day. Because you're going to convince yourself that that's what
Yeah.
you like to do.
It's true. And even like when I'm at the gym, I do like boot camp or whatever. And they're like, okay, we're going to do burpees. I'm like, oh, my favorite.
Yeah, there you go.
I always convince myself, like, oh, my favorite. And all my team, they always laugh at me, like, your favorite, huh? I'm like, yes, indeed, my favorite. And that's just a affirmation for myself to really keep myself motivated because, yeah, it may not be my favorite right then and there, but the results after is going to be my favorite.
Yeah.
So, that's what I kind of hone on. So, let me ask you a question. Do you think affirmations is a form of prayer?
That's a good question. Let me think about that. And that's where I think maybe if I went into it deep, I could somehow connect it to prayer. But no, I think affirmations is you talking to yourself.
Mm.
But I mean, I could go deep and deep into that. Like, okay, well, you talking to yourself is kind of a form of prayer, like
Yeah.
depending how you see it. But I think that when you're affirming, that is just for you to believe yourself. So when you are praying to God, you believe that you're worthy, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So saying, I am rich, I am abundant,
Yes.
even if you don't got 1 cent in your bank account, by saying that and money's going to come to you and you're open to attract it, when you
Mm-hmm.
pray to whoever you pray to, when you pray, you will be on that same alignment with the
Mm-hmm.
same energy as what you're asking for. Otherwise, you're like, oh, I'm so broke. Oh my God, that's $2. I can't afford that. Like, even if you can't, when you
Yes.
say that, you're telling whatever it is around you, I can't afford that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worthy of that.
So it doesn't like you.
It doesn't like you. It's going to stay away from you.
Yeah, it doesn't even want to deal with you.
Yeah.
At all. And I think that word alignment is extremely powerful because when we come into alignment with ourselves, we can actually maneuver and be more positive and create that space for ourselves. Because in the world with so much simulation and so many distractions, we kind of lose sight. We kind of lose sight of ourselves. And being able to stay aligned and balance is even a help me along in my journey. And the affirmations part deeply reprogrammed my subconscious completely, and it actually helped me to create more confidence.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what a lot of us lack is confidence and self-esteem. And even to this day, sometimes I look in the mirror, like even I can, I was like, what? I don't
Yeah.
even know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just being able to say, you know what, I am okay. I do look good.
Yeah.
I am the best I've ever seen.
Yeah. And if you were to talk to my friends or my friends that are watching this, like, they'll know every
Yeah.
single time, and I've known like people for years,
Yeah.
and every single time I talk to these people, at least in the past 2 years, I'm like, I'm the best I've ever been. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm the strongest I've ever been, like I feel like I look the best I ever looked. So it's like when you just, and I believe it, like I truly feel it, and I'm not just saying it, like I really believe it, but it took years and years and years and years of writing. And I keep all my journals and I keep all my writings, and the other day I read and I went back, and that's what I really do it for. I will speak in my phone and I'll voice record to myself, or I'll write down so I can reread it and feel that power, feel the energy that was left there when I wrote it, and know the energy that's embodied in me today. And so I'll go back and I'll read it, and it says like, oh, I'm this, this, and that, and it's what I am. Like, for example, it's like, I'm a doctor. I graduated from San Diego State, written in 2021. And guess who's barely going to start San Diego State in 2024?
What?
So it's like just crazy. And like underneath that, it says like, I speak Spanish, Italian, and English. And guess who's been learning Italian for the past 5 months? And I speak Italian now.
And so, you're going to Italy soon,
and I'm going to Italy. So it's just, and that's the whole reason I started learning Italian. But that was back in 2021 when I had never even been to Italy. Like that was way back when. And I don't always date my stuff because I don't like to put expectations like, oh, what if something didn't happen and I'm rushing it? Because we were talking about that, and we'll get into that later, is patience. Patience with yourself and with your manifestations.
Absolutely.
But I think the importance of just having something written down that you can refer back to and really try and understand what it means to be that thing that you want to be,
And writing is a powerful tool.
Powerful.
It has definitely helped me open up many doors as well. Going back and just looking at the writings from who I am, who I was in the past, and who I am today, really helped me in my subconscious journey. And another thing is using those tools to help maintain balance is such an essential deal. And I just want to thank you. And I just want to ask you another question.
Ask away.
Okay. What are some of the other tools that you use to stay balanced or stay affirmed? Or how do you receive? Because I know sometimes it's like, I put it out there into the universe and I pray and I receive it. But then when it comes to me, it doesn't look as if I imaged it. But you
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's God and it's what you prayed for, but it doesn't look exactly how you envisioned it. And so sometimes we can miss opportunities as well because we have an imprint of what we want things to look like. But, sometimes when we pray, the universe, God answers our prayers, and it comes in the most subtlest ways or the weirdest ways. And honestly, I've missed opportunities just by thinking things should look the way that they do, really judging my prayers, judging my
setting expectations on God.
Yes.
And you can't do that. You can't tell God, hey, I want this only if it looks like this, 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 and this, and it's 5-star. God is going to hand you, sometimes you pray for a pony and a pony's going to fall out the sky. Obviously that's like a phrase. Like, obviously it's like sometimes exactly what you pray for is going to walk into your life exactly how you prayed it. And sometimes God's going to give you the twigs and the sticks and the dirt and the water and be like, build it. It's right here in front of you. Build it. Use your resources that I gave you. Yeah. And like, I could go on and on. That's why I love that we're doing this, because I could go on and on. There has been so many times that I've also missed out on opportunities because it wasn't what I wanted, or it was too much work, or I wasn't truly what I was telling God I was. I wasn't ready. And you'll never be ready until you are willing to commit and take the responsibility within yourself to get it done. And that's what me and Jai are doing literally right now. Like,
putting in that work.
We've prayed, we've manifested for years, and we've talked to God, and we've aligned ourselves with what it means to really be ready. And to do that is to know that you just got to get down and get dirty.
You got to get down and get dirty. And sometimes that down and dirty is muddy.
It's muddy. It's muddy. And
it's not really
muddy.
Dirty or dusty.
No.
Like you're getting down in the mud. But if we can switch our perceptions on how life is but a beautiful mess, and if we can just look at the mud and say, you know what, this mud is a river. I'm going to make this mud into clear waters. This mud is something that I could build from.
I'm grateful I have this mud.
Yeah.
I'm grateful I have this mud because I didn't
Yeah.
used to have mud,
That's
and I
right.
had nothing to build from.
That's right.
And you also asked me like if it's been presented to me and I just didn't like the way it was presented, but also there's times where you get what you asked for and it's just like you're like, "Oh wait, I didn't want this after all."
Mm-hmm.
And you align yourself with what you actually want and it turns you in a complete opposite direction and you might think you failed, but you were really put on the path you were supposed to be on
True.
to begin with. Or what if you're not even healed and you self-sabotage that opportunity? You might have had it and you might have been cool with it and then you let it go and you're like, "Wait, that was the opportunity that I had."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I guess my next question would be is like, well, how do we know that we're healed from that trauma? Like, how do we know that we can continue to just receive these things from God, or how do we know?
To be honest, I think a misconception on healing is that you're ever truly healed.
Mm.
I think something, if it's going to affect somebody that hard to be considered as trauma, will always linger in their body. And you can release and you can let go. But at the end of the day, you're still going to remember it
Yes.
and you're still going to think about it.
True.
And you can be healed where it's just a scar,
Mm-hmm.
where it doesn't affect you but it's there. But I think if you're allowing that trauma to ruin your blessings,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you have to look inward and you have to ask yourself, you know, what is it? What is it? Like, is it a trigger?
Mm.
Why did I just do that? Why did I just treat this person that I wanted so badly, badly?
Mm.
Or why did I just give up this job because I was lazy and I didn't want to work or because it was hard?
Right. Yes.
It's like, what are you self-sabotaging? You have to ask for one, and then you have to be completely honest with yourself. And that's where we could go into taking accountability.
Woo!
I'm like, we're
Accountability,
ready to get
boy.
going.
Accountability.
You got to take accountability.
Ugh, that has been the one of the most major things along in my journey is being accountable for the mistakes that I made, and not to just dwell or wallow in the past. It's like, oh man, I should have did things this way, or oh, I should have did that things that way. And I think accountability is it can be painful. It's very raw. When you can sit through all of your truths, because sometimes the truth's not so pretty. So when you can sit through all of the ugly things that you've done or all of the things that may feel unpretty, you just and you take accountability and you say, you know what, those are the things of the past. Today's a new day. I forgive myself, but I am accountable and aware for the actions that took place. Now let me make better actions towards what I'm praying for, towards what I want to receive, and towards just a better lifestyle in general.
I think a big reason why people either don't believe in taking accountability for even their own traumas. How is this trauma affecting you?
Mm,
How come you're not healing from that?
right.
That's something, yeah, this sucks that this happened to you or that someone treated you this way
Yeah.
or you went through this accident or whatever. But it's you're taking accountability for your healing. Then
Yes.
you need to say, why am I letting this affect me this long? Why am I not
Mm,
taking my resources and learning how to heal? Why am I not talking to God?
yes.
But it's so I think a reason why people don't do that is it's so much easier to inflict blame.
Mm,
You did this to me. I'm
mhm.
like this because of what happened to me,
Right.
or I look this way because, I'm addicted to this.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you're not being 100%, I always tell people, lie to everyone, lie to your friends, lie to whoever you want, but don't lie to yourself.
That's true.
Because when you start lying to yourself, then you will never have the life that you want. You'll never be comfortable in your own soul if you can't even be real with yourself. So nobody has to know what you struggle with. Nobody has to know your insecurities. So you could lie, put on a mask to the whole world. But when you know what you struggle with and what you're insecure about, work on it. And you'll never be done working on it. One day you might be insecure about your looks, and the next day you might be insecure about your intellect.
It's true.
But
That's
what can
true.
you do?
Nothing. And I always say, the truth is better than a lie gone too
Yeah.
far. And it's been plenty of times in my journey to where I would just blame. I would blame everybody, oh, my mom was like this, so this is why I'm like
Yeah.
this. Or, my dad was doing all of this, and this is why I do all of this.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that we have the power of choice. We have the will to change our trajectory. And I think a lot of people are not willing to make the choice to change,
Yeah.
to make the choice to love. And it's a really big thing to make the choice to love yourself.
Ooh.
And surrender to yourself, because
Oh.
you have to. Because, if you don't, you're going to let fear lead you. And then what fear does is it completely skews your perception on the whole world. It skews your perception on how other people, even when other people are genuinely, truly trying to love and accept you, you combat that with that fear energy, and you
push
push
'em.
people, you push love away because you don't love and surrender to yourself first and the truth that's within you. And like I said, the truth is better than a lie gone too far.
That
So
was
it's
beautifully
better to
said.
be truthful with yourself.
And see how it all ties together though, because like the way you just said, you're pushing these people away that love you. And when you could be praying to God, I just want some people that are going to love me.
Yeah.
And there you are self-sabotaging because you're inflicting blame.
And I'm telling you, it's like we pray, right? We pray not to worry. And it's like, you know what, God, I'm going to leave all of this in your hands right now. I'm not going to worry no more. And thank you. Like, I'm just putting it all in your hands. Right. But then sometimes we tend to go back out of fear. We go back and you'd be like, oh man, and you're still worrying because you're not having that faith in what you prayed for.
Yeah.
You're not having that faith and that trust in God, like, hey, I leave all my worries in your hand. Because some of us, we go back and we're like,
yeah,
hey God, remember what I left in your hand? Let me just pry that open a
let
bit.
me just
and
look
it's
in
like,
there real quick.
just real quick, let me get that back. And that's when we start worrying, and we start keep continuously going in that cycle because we don't have that trust in ourselves. It's like, yeah, we have trust in God, we're praying to God, but then we worry and we forget about what we pray for, is because we don't have that trust and that love and that accountability within ourselves first.
And I feel like it's like we need to be so honest too about the way that it's a struggle day in, day out. You know, sometimes there's days I'm not worried about nothing and I'm chilling and I'm like, I live the best life. I'm living everything I've ever wanted and more. And I'm so grateful, because that's another big thing. You always got to be grateful for what you have.
Attitude of gratitude.
You got to be grateful. But it's so easy to like look at us. Like somebody's probably, I get my clients telling me all the time. Yeah. They always tell me like, oh, Tatiana, you have it put together. Like, how do you do 5 million things so well? Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if only they knew that I'm like barely, I'm like swimming on like to get on top. But at the end of the day, all I'm doing is everything I want to do that's going to get me to where I want to be. Absolutely. You know, I'm a hard worker. That's just, I feel like some people just go into a category with certain things. And I love being a hard worker. I love dedicating myself. I love doing what I want to do, because I'm a true believer that you can have whatever it is that you want. Absolutely. Whatever it is. And now sometimes, you know, you're going to struggle, whether it's you're not going to be eating enough, you're not going to be sleeping enough, you're not going to be working enough. Like, you have to like juggle just so perfectly where something might be left alone for a little bit, but you're going to get back on it. That's right. You know, and that's how you get everything. Yeah. And so I just think that, you know, people see it and they don't understand that behind it, there's still a lot of insecurity. Yes. And there's still a lot of pain, and there's still a lot of fights with my family, you know, and just people that might irritate me on a day in and day out basis. But at the end of the day, that's where I take accountability and say, you know what? I'm human. It's okay. It's okay. And tomorrow's a fresh day.
Tomorrow's that fresh start. And it could be worse.
It could be way worse.
It could be worse because, I mean, like, look at the people around the world. What's going on in Palestine? Yeah. You know, what's going on in the Congo? And, you know, just having that attitude of gratitude keeps us sustained and in God's love, in your own truth. And it makes the load lighter, you know?
I think to turn a blind eye to everything that's happening in the world is such a privilege. You know, if you want to deny that there's something going on in the world, or you just don't want to look at it or bring light to it, that's fine. You might not have a preference, but don't act like it doesn't exist. Right. Because we're on a side of the world where we're so like the technology is so advanced here, you know, and like I'm just thinking about when you FaceTime me just to see the angles on the camera right there, like that was crazy.
Felt like we were in different dimensions.
Right. Like that was crazy. And just like the strength that we have and the privilege that we have to think the ways that we think. Because there's so many other cultures or countries that just can't, they don't have the freedom to express themselves like this. They don't have the freedom to embark on a journey like this. And here we are living the California dream, starting a podcast.
in nature.
In nature.
What better place,
in a
right?
safe home, like
yes.
where I'm comfortable and I'm happy and
yes.
it's a sunny day, like there's not
yeah.
a cloud in the sky.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
it's so important to be grateful for the stuff, not only that you want and got, but just this grass.
Beautiful.
Everything. This company, you know?
Beautiful. Beautiful. And so what are some of the things that we can do to kind of maintain, besides the gratitude, like what is kind of like just a short regimen that we can just give everybody to just kind of keep continuing on their journey and on their healing journey, and to build that self-confidence and really be able to receive what they ask for?
So what's a regimen I would give them to be able to receive and feel like they're worthy? That's pretty much what you're telling me at the end of the day. What is a regimen that can make these people feel like they are worthy to receive everything they want and more?
Yes.
I would say, number one, write down. Write down or speak. If you don't like to write, speak into your phone speaker. I am gorgeous. I am loved. I am grateful. I am strong. Whatever you want to be, or you know that you are, or even if you don't know you are that, if you want to be that, say I am. Don't psych yourself out. You're going to hear the doubt. You're going to hear the doubt. And you need to keep saying it until it doesn't feel like doubt anymore in your head.
Because it creeps in like a thief in the night.
It creeps in. And it's like that cup with the mud in it, and you just got to keep putting in water until all the mud comes out and it just is clear. Because that's what you're doing to your head. So that's one thing. Number two, I think mirror work. I think mirror work is so powerful. It's so powerful. And I haven't even been doing it for the past few weeks. I haven't. Sometimes it's so easy to get lost in the day-to-day. And you don't practice what you preach always. But I know if I need to and it hits the fan, I'm going to go up to my mirror and I'm going to look myself directly in the eye. Even though I'm going to feel crazy inside, I personally feel crazy when I do it. People think, oh, like, you don't, like, I can't do that. I feel weird. It's like, I feel uncomfortable. But I will sit there until I'm so comfortable in my body. And you really connect with yourself on a different level.
It's true.
So
it's like you're pinging yourself in the spiritual world or your higher self to say, hey, we need to get this done.
Yeah, you're like connecting your soul with your actual physical body because you can see yourself.
Even though we're so much more than just this flesh.
Yeah. It's too much consciousness in here. But that's another second thing. And I think the third thing too is to just also be very patient with yourself. Be patient. You can't rush God. I have a girlfriend who was going through a really tough time in a breakup. And I kept telling her, she kept looking for like ins and outs. And I kept giving my resources. I was like, come do this. If you're into spirituality, come do this energy healing. If you're into this, go to church. Like whatever you got to do to make yourself feel better, go do it.
That's right.
But you cannot rush the process. You cannot be like, it's been 1 month. Why am I not over this person? It's been 2 months. It's been 3 months. It's been 6 months. You got to give yourself years.
You got to give yourself time to heal.
You got to give yourself.
You do. And I think that was another hang up in my journey, is the lack of patience that I had with myself. The lack of patience that I had to really give myself time to heal, because it's like I always wanted something fast. I wanted it now. I wanted fast results. And when it comes to the healing process, there's nothing fast about it. Nothing fast about it at all. You have to be accountable. You have to sit with your pain. You actually have to go towards the pain, not run from it, because in the pain is where the beauty is at, and it's where you actually find yourself. That's what, along in my journey, I found myself through the pain, through all the past trauma. Being accountable is, and being patient with myself is where I found myself along in my journey. And still to this day, I have trouble being patient with myself.
You said something so powerful right now. You said that you got to sit in the pain.
You got to sit in it.
And you got to soak in it. You got to be there like, okay, if you messed up, take accountability. I messed up. This is what I did. I feel like shit about it.
Right.
I feel terrible. And I'm going to feel terrible because I did something terrible. But you have to keep being there and do the actions that make yourself feel like, okay,
Yes.
I apologize. I've worked through it. I
Yes.
acknowledge I did something bad. However,
Mhm.
I am not a bad person. But if you keep doing something bad and you inside your mind, you know, like, oh no, I'm not gonna change my
Yeah.
way. You might be, I don't want to say a bad person, but you might need to heal a little,
Yeah.
a
A little
little
bit
more.
more and be conscious of that healing,
Yeah.
like, because it's okay, we always feel like we're running out of time. I got to get this done, and we look at the other person and why they're healing so fast, and why they got this, and woo, woo. But what about me? And it's just like, yeah, what about you?
Yeah.
Like, really sit in yourself and really come into union with yourself.
Yep.
And that takes time, love, and patience. It's not easy. So using those tools as writing, saying affirmations, and just being present in the moment with yourself helps along the journey. Deep breaths, nature.
Meditation.
Hmm.
People, okay, I just took a meditation class.
Did
I
you?
just took a meditation class. I got 103% in that class.
Okay, all right,
So
all
I think I'm
right.
qualified to speak on this right now. I would be back here and I would set up my yoga mat like right here, and
Uh-huh.
I would just, no joke, like literally just lay there. And I would just lay there and feel the energy from the sun and feel the
Mm,
energy from myself.
taking those rays.
And I would like feel the grass around me, and like occasionally a bug would hit my leg and I'm like bursting back into consciousness. But like when you just sit there, and I would put a frequency in the background.
Nice.
And that's another thing that I think is a little more advanced, but frequencies. Do you use those?
You know what? I use them. I feel like they're not really too advanced because they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's disruptive frequencies,
True.
and then there's also healing frequencies as well. I mean, look at the Wi-Fi frequency. We can't see it. It's 5G, but it's disruptive to our frequency as human beings, and it plays chaos in the mind. It's just like Nicole Tesla said. If you want to think of the universe, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think of sound, vibration, and frequency.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We're frequency beings. But I've noticed throughout my time that frequencies have it completely changed my subconscious. It
Yeah.
enhanced my consciousness just as much as if I was out in nature.
Frequencies, amen to that. Frequencies are so advanced,
Mm-hmm.
I think, on your, I don't even want to call it a spiritual journey, but once you start aligning yourself with your own energy and
Mm-hmm.
understand even what energy is, because people still might just think we're throwing that word around,
Yeah, no, no,
when
we're
you
not.
really feel that energy in yourself, you'll understand what a frequency is trying to say to you. Like these frequencies, they have like the 369 frequency and
Yeah.
the 888 frequency and all these
Ooh.
things. But at the end of the day, when you pick a frequency and you sit there and you, like I said, meditate, you
Mm-hmm.
put this on in the background and you just surrender your consciousness. You
Yes.
literally don't think.
Yeah.
And when you do think, put it out of your head,
Yeah.
like focus on just being.
Yes.
And you can align yourself with that frequency. You can
Absolutely.
align your energy to vibrate on
Mm-hmm.
that same frequency.
And I think when it comes, aligning yourself with frequencies, when you do that and you practice, because it is, you know what, it is, it's advanced. Because when you align yourself with these frequencies, that's when you're able to actually feel other people's energy and align yourself with your
Yeah.
own core frequency, and the other, you can feel the other frequencies around you. You can feel if it's chaotic, disruptive. You can feel if it's high vibing. You can feel if it's a peace and joy. You can actually start to feel it when you do tune into these frequencies. And I think another thing about frequencies, going a little more deeper into it, is the waves, the alpha state, the beta state, the theta
Mm.
waves, and these are the waves that actually slip you in and out of consciousness. So, for instance, I think theta is your dream state.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, theta is your dream state. Beta is this state. So beta is the most base state. So you're in survival mode when you're
Yeah.
in a beta frequency. It's funny because these people out here be beta. I was gonna talk about dudes. I'm like beta ass niggas, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, the beta frequency is that most survival frequency. Theta is a dream state. Delta is a deep consciousness, that meditative state, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something that's definitely worth looking into, because I know a lot of masters, they just go in and out of those states in their
Yeah.
waking state. So it's interesting. It gets
And
deep.
and I mean, I think like if a lot of you guys, you might be looking for the path to healing, you know,
Yes.
and we can only offer our perspective
Mm-hmm.
with our the way we convey our perspective, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people might not even know how to explain energy. So how would, if you could sum up energy and the way to
Ooh.
maybe get in tune with it? We
Mm-hmm.
talked about how to get in tune with it, but how to really feel it.
Mm. Is taking that stillness in the mind. You know, being mindful and present within yourself is how you can really take that energy in, because at the end of the day, energy is a constant movement, right? It's always moving particles. And even money is energy. It's a form of currency. Electricity, those hertz, those are all energy terms. And we're basically energetic beings just having a human experience. So being in touch and in tune and honing in that energy is getting out in nature, sitting still and being still within the mind, being in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
Water is a form of energy, rushing river water.
Yeah.
So that is a current, right? So you would sit next to that water just to actually get those frequencies and in tune and align your own frequencies. I think the elements are getting in tune with your frequency, like earth, water, fire, air, the wind. It's a frequency. Even the wind pushes windmills to conduct electricity or a currency. So it all really has to really do with elemental forces. I
It
feel
does.
like it does, and honing in to those forces. Have you ever seen that movie, The Fifth Element?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's a classic, and it has Bruce Willis in it, Chris Tucker, but
I love Chris Tucker.
oh my, you would love him in that movie.
Yeah, I gotta watch it
Oh
then.
gosh, he's a clown. But yeah, so anyways, just to sum up that, like at the end of the movie, um they're basically racing towards saving the earth, but they have to use the four elements. And so the fifth element is you. It's
Mm,
you. It's the woman that completes the cycle of the energetic experience here on earth. So that's how they were saving the world, is just through
spoiler
you.
alert.
Through you being
Spoiler alert. That's how the
being
movie ends.
you. Yeah, no, I'm bad at that. I'm bad
No,
at
no,
that.
no.
I'm bad at that.
That's a good way to put it though.
But being you, being present in you, and just draw is the closest that you can get to just honing in that energy, the truth, being truthful to you, being authentic with yourself. Like we just said, you know, it's hard when you're not truthful with yourself. You can
Mm-hmm.
lie and lie and lie, but you know, you gotta be honest with yourself.
Really.
You gotta, and that's a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice the things that don't serve you and come
That's
into
such a
alignment with
good
yourself.
point. You
Yeah,
have to sacrifice. Like
yeah.
I tell people, like, or how you said earlier, way back at the beginning, you said when God presents an opportunity to yourself and it's not exactly what you see in your mind. I thought about this and I forgot. If you receive something that may
Mm-hmm.
not be what you want, and you know that you deserve more,
Right.
that's the difference. It's not
Yes.
like how we were talking about earlier where you're like, oh shoot, like I need that.
Mm.
It's okay, I this is not what I asked for.
Right.
For real. Like this is not what I asked for. This looks like what I asked for, but it's not what I asked
This
for.
ain't it though.
You can return it, and you can sit in your power and be stubborn
Mm.
and say, I know I deserve more.
Mm-hmm.
I know that this is not what I asked for because
Right.
I am worthy of more. Let's just say you think of the best man you could ever want.
Mm-hmm.
The best man. He looks good, you know, pays all your bills, like what girls ever stereotypically think is the
Yeah.
right man for you, right?
Right.
And next thing you know, like speaking out of experience, next
Go
thing you
ahead. Go
know,
ahead.
this
Preach
man
it.
is emotionally, you know, abusing you in a way,
Mm.
calling you names, calling you stupid, calling you crazy, calling you lazy. And you know
Mm-hmm.
for a fact you're none of what he's calling you. And for whatever reason, you don't know why he's treating you that way. But you stay because you're like, oh, he's perfect, but he emotionally abuses me. Or he's perfect, but he puts hands on me, you know?
He's okay, but yeah, I don't think it's okay.
No, you
It's
give that
not
back
okay.
by being done.
Return to sender.
Return to sender, please, and don't bring him back. And that's how you ask God of the right thing, and you show the universe of your worthiness to stuff.
Mm.
You say, if you keep taking that back and you keep taking that back, that's all you're going to get. That's what you want. You're saying, yeah, that's me. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're verbally saying, oh, I don't want that, your actions are showing that that's exactly what you want. And that's why it's so important to get what you say and how you act on the same wavelength.
Yes. Yes.
So if you
you gotta talk that talk. You can't talk that talk. You gotta walk that walk.
You gotta walk that walk, and that's actually on my vision board.
Yeah.
Last year, me and the club. I was part of the entrepreneurship club.
Okay. Yeah.
And I made them do vision boards because it's so important to
Mm-hmm.
understand what you want for when you ask for it.
Yes.
You got to really know what you want
specifically.
Because if you don't, you're like, oh, I mean, this would be cool. This would be cool. God's like, well, you obviously don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah. No.
Figure it out.
That's definitely not the way to go. Especially like along in my journey, it's just, I'm so creative and I have so many dreams and so many aspirations, but then I find myself over here doing this one, over here doing this one, piece by piece. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I just do a little bit of them all, I'll get it. But it's like, no, quite the contrary. I have to know and set goals for what is it exactly that my heart desires. And let me work on that. And then all the other things,
everything else will come. And that's the thing too, is you could have multiple goals and multiple dreams. You can have it all. Like I said, like you can really, but like you said, you need to pick at least a few and know exactly vivid detail. Hey, I want it to look like this. And then, shoot for the moon and land on a star. That's also on my vision board.
Land on the stars.
Like you shoot, you want this crazy, beautiful image and this is how you want a life of lux and you want all of this stuff.
Yes.
But then you're on the way there, and you can say, I don't, that's not actually what I wanted. Or like when you're going shopping and you think you want like a certain couch.
Yeah.
And then you go and you sit down and you're like, it's not that comfortable. I actually don't want this couch.
Right.
I'm going to send it back and I'm going to go look for actually what I want.
That's right.
But then you'll know what you want. So say you send that man back, whatever, and then another guy comes into your life. Oh, all of these things that I want, but he has bad hygiene.
That's a no-no.
But he has bad hygiene. Do you want that? If you do, stay in that situation. You don't, return it.
Yes.
And that's just an example. Like obviously life is way more than the man that you choose, but that is just the most clearest example I could give of like, if you don't want something, you don't like the way a person is treating you, remove that person from your life. Otherwise you're telling God, you're telling the universe that those are the kind of people you surround yourself with.
And a lot of people always find themselves very sorrowful because they don't know how to get out of that. Or it's just like, why do I keep attracting this type of energy? Why do I keep attracting these type of men? Why do I keep attracting this type of person into my life? And I would like to say, just take a deeper look on truly how much value do you have for yourself? How much value do you have in yourself? Those are the questions that you have to ask yourself.
How much do you love yourself?
How much? How much? Because if you truly love yourself, you'll know what you don't want. It's just like that uncomfortable couch.
You'll know what you don't deserve. Yeah, I deserve a comfy couch.
That's right. I deserve a comfy bed to lay in.
Yeah.
And I'm not laying upon no, coals of fire. Or just some
rocks with a sheet over
wire
it.
Or something. You know what I'm saying? And just a lot of energies just linger in the attachments. They attach. So hurt people. And sometimes we just don't know how to get out of that hurt because we don't know how it feels to be loved, So love yourself first, unconditionally, and surrender.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is if you have grown up in a household where you weren't taught love, or you don't know, you
don't know what it looks like.
You don't know what it looks like.
It feels like.
So you pick somebody or you pick some situation in your life where, like this is what was modeled for me. This is what I believe in. You're already so many steps behind what you could be versus if you just took the accountability. Were honest with yourself and then aligned your frequency and then ask God for what you want. And then work hard to keep your prayers.
Absolutely.
It all aligns. Everything we spoke about today just is step by step. And there's no 1, 2, 3. Like it's depending on the situation you're in. It'll be all over the place. But you got to know what you want. Understand who you are as a person. Love yourself. And ask. And really ask with your soul. Don't just ask with your head and your mind and your voice. Ask deep where you want that.
Yes. Asking you shall receive. Seeking you shall find. Seeking you shall find. So I guess we're going to end the segment here. And, we just want to thank each and every one of our viewers
Yes.
for, tuning into us and, being a part of the journey, just being a part of the journey, and just loving yourself.
Yeah.
Loving yourself completely enough to keep it real with yourself.
Keep it real with yourself.
Keep it real with yourself.
With yourself.
With yourself, though.
Nobody else. Like, if you want to keep it real with everyone else, that's awesome. Keep it real with you and see what you need to do to get the life of your dreams. And we'll help you.
Yeah, we'll help you along.
We're not going to do the work for you, but we'll tell you what work you need to do.
And we'll share our experiences along the way, because guess what? It's not all flowers and, just honey or any like soft things. It's like, we go through it as well. And we just come through the fire with our experiences, with our love, and just sharing our journeys.
Yeah. So. It's a never-ending journey, and I'm so grateful to have you guys, whoever's watching. I hope that, and I pray that we are allowed to convey some form of healing to you, or some form of entertainment, or some form of love, where you know that you're not alone. You're powerful in yourself. You just need to align yourself with that power.
Yes. So I'm Jai, always staying fly.
And I'm Tatiana, and this was the first episode of Pretty Girls Don't Speak.
Pretty Girls Don't Speak.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day.
Man.
We're out.